Hello everyone, I am Chef Arvind, an award-winning pastry chef with passion for creating delightful confection with chocolate. Today I am delving into a series of conversations to discuss a pressing issue that's impacting the chocolate world, the global cocoa shortage. As cocoa prices soar, businesses that rely on the essential ingredients are feeling the strain. My aim is to raise awareness about this crisis, exploring its implications, on discussing potential solutions. I encourage you, the viewers, to engage with me in the comments and share this message. In this episode, I am joined by Vimal Sharma, the founder of Smoor Chocolate. He will share his insight on how this shortage is affecting Indian chocolate makers and consumers alike. We will discuss whether the situation is likely to improve or worsen and what it means for both small and large dependent business on chocolate. Should we reduce our chocolate usage or raise prices? These are some of the critical questions we will tackle today. Stay tuned for an in-depth conversation on the future of the chocolate in the face of this cocoa crisis. What is your thought process? How you're going to manage the business, and what's how you're looking at the menu?
I think what we're seeing in the chocolate industry today, right? Probably it's unheard of, right? With the prices, probably, if you look at it from a chocolate perspective, going up 3x, right, in terms of the pricing of the price of the chocolate to make the whatever the end product is. Now, I think being in the chocolate industry now 10 years, and one of the major raw materials is chocolates itself now. And when we talk about chocolates, we talk about kombucha, which is high in cocoa percentages, etc. First of all, I think the crisis itself, I think if you put it in the right context, I feel it's probably a short term. It will be probably, we have to manage the situation probably between 6 to 12 months from today. Now, when the prices shoot up to that level, right, this is where I think, and it's very easy to say that we can add whatever the price is, we add it and pass it to the consumers. But unfortunately, then it becomes unsellable, right? Because there's a certain price a customer is ready to even pay for a premium product. So for us, it was about going back to the drawing board, and we probably felt similar during the COVID time, right? To see what can be done, right?
And it's almost like a chocolate pandemic, I would call
agree.
it. Yeah.
The knowledge on chocolate and the training on chocolate and the people who are making chocolates, right? There's two parts to it. People generally use the block, melt it, whatever they have to do, they come out with the product. And the other set of chocolatiers, they understand from the cocoa plant to the butter to mass to it. So, now during this time, the biggest advantage probably we have a team that has a well-trained team that has the ability to, if the parameter is like we don't want to increase the price, and if we do, maybe it's 5 to 7%. How do we absorb the remaining?
Do you have plans like you're going to increase the price for wholesome, like overall the menu pricing or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think we can increase the price for more than 5 to 7% if we go that path, right? At this point in time, we're holding it as is. But what we feel is that you have to re-engineer the chocolate without losing the quality and continuing to give them the right quality of the product. So some of the things, what we feel is that the new SKU lines that is we can create to manage this, right? Something like if you're using lots of dry foods and then you enroll with chocolate, it's still a great snacking product.
Yes.
So it's about creativity without compromising on the quality.
This is more about suppression in terms of or minimizing the use of chocolate, what you're talking about, and still shows to the customer, yes,
Yeah.
I'm still serving you dark chocolate, but yes, the quantity or the cost of production will go
Yes.
down because you're using less chocolate in it.
Absolutely. So one is still continue to use the high grade of chocolate.
Yes.
You kind of enrobe with
Yes.
a better as good quality product. India is known for dry fruits. People love dry fruits chocolate, and probably zero in and create product lines that are loved by the consumers, and then zero in to certain SKUs rather than having probably hundreds of SKUs. You probably reduce it to probably a 40 line SKUs. In order to make sure that the volumes are built, and so when you do that, the efficiencies come. So when the efficiencies come, it's not only about the chocolate price itself, right, per kg. It is about how much labor it costs, how much power it costs, how much overheads are done. So you basically attack by rationalizing it, i.e., the product and the chocolate mix. You basically look at the efficiencies you can bring that will allow you to absorb these additional costs. And third thing also, I think the most important thing, most of the chocolates, if you look at it, it are generally enrobed, generally have comes with fillings and all that.
Okay.
Now, in the past, we probably have become lazy, and it was very easy just to pick up buckets from suppliers who are specifically making that.
Do you like to make more fillings by yourself, or
Yes, so
because
absolutely. So
because control will be more if you're making your own filling? I think still have a better control, because if you're buying it filling, you need to depend on the
yes,
suppliers, right?
absolutely. So again, I'll put it back to Chef. I think you are an expert, right? You train number of students, and I think it's high today is the need of the hour, that education in learning how to make great products like fillings in house,
Yes.
and then marrying it with the chocolate.
In India, I think it's easy because we still like anything with the nuts.
Yes.
And our fillings, everything can be nut based. Maybe the percentage of the cocoa can be larger or lesser, depends.
Yeah.
But I think this is the way I think we like the chocolate also.
Yeah.
The problem is with the dark chocolate application, I think is going to be higher. So how do you see, as in, because I see as you have a lot of chocolate bars as in part of it. So how you going to manage the chocolate bars part? I mean,
absolutely right. Probably 70% of our chocolate that are sold today is of dark chocolate. 55% onwards of 70%.
I think I would just remind the audience, the true chocolate means obviously you are talking about the chocolate which contains cocoa butter, cocoa mass. Yeah. Now, there are two kind of chocolate comes. One is true chocolate, obviously cocoa butter and cocoa mass, which is hard to find nowadays. It's difficult with the rising prices. But when we talk about something chocolate today, people also understand as in compound as in chocolate. Correct. Which is not a chocolate, it's a just artificial fat or alternative fat which has been used in chocolate making, right? So
correct. So which is with the higher vegetable fat, right?
Yes.
Majority is a vegetable fat. Yes.
Compound, it's called butter substitute, yeah. Right? We talk about it. Yeah. So
yeah. So I think it's no hiding the fact. These bars and all that. If you look at it, let's say 80 or 100 gram bars, right?
Yes.
And with the 3x price. Now it will become unaffordable, right? Because at the end of the day, the prices have to go up by 1.5x. So what there has to be re-engineering. So yes. I think the size has to. I mean, let's not hide it and sugarcoat it. Like we'll probably have to reduce the bar size to 65 grams. One is if you're talking about solid chocolate solid bars.
Okay.
To maintain the pricing and don't. It's one way of looking at it, right? If people want to do consume, probably they'll have to consume a little bit less for the same price, before, right? Yeah. The other thing is with the dark bars also the intrusions will come. I think you'll see a lot of intrusions.
But doesn't impact your production cost, because now you have to do re-engineering the whole thing of making, probably looking for the smaller bar molds or.
Yeah, so investment, yeah, definitely.
Investment, yeah,
you have to invest. There's a definitely investment cost that is required, and probably in high, it's probably not a bad thing, because you don't know that this type of chocolate pandemic can probably come again, right?
Come again, yes.
So I think it makes you think outside the box. At the same time, you want to fulfill the demand, and you want the customers to continue to eat the chocolates. It's a short term problem, but what will come out will be creativity.
Yes.
You'll probably, I can bet you, three things will come out. That any chocolates you use will probably become more healthier, because you are using nuts, dry fruits enrolled in chocolates,
I know,
right?
I met you when Smoor started in 2009. Probably we did not know each other. And I'm as a chef. You always see me as a
Yes.
chef. So I'm into training where you understand how to manipulate and how to change the ratio of the
Yeah.
chocolate and still it's remain healthy.
Yeah.
But how do you see? I mean, it's been for you is about, I guess, 15 years in the business almost.
Yes,
14,
yeah,
15,
close to,
2009
yeah.
to yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Do you really see chocolate was just a pastry ingredient today, and today it's becoming an commodity? Today it's becoming a commodity.
Yeah. So look, I think 15 years back when I entered India, I think at that point in time, if you look at it, the education on chocolate, kombucha was
nothing.
non-existent, right? And if you talk to people about chocolate, it was more about vegetable fat chocolates, right?
Yes,
it
compound,
was
yeah.
more compound, easy to make, it's mold, demold, right?
Yes.
Now, if you fast forward and come to the current scenario of today, right? Now, one of the most, I think, exciting thing, especially in a country like India, I think India has probably experienced quite a significant double-digit growth on the consumption of the chocolate over the last 10 odd years, right?
I also get that here is like when people understand you're making chocolate, there are two aspects of it.
Yeah.
One is application chocolate and one is a chocolate from scratch and you bring it to application. So for them it's like good to know what is the application where the chocolate comes from. So how do you get into, like, you use the application chocolate or do you make it, I mean, or you like to have, you have a contract based manufacturing where you bring your own chocolate? Or
Yeah, look, I think for us, if you look at it, we were completely a business that was we're very dependent on going to the chocolate makers and bringing in callets and blocks, right?
Okay.
And there was a very small portion of us that we used to probably look at from the cocoa butter, cocoa mess, right?
Yeah.
There was a reason for it, because this process was much more easy, much more robust, and the consistency of the product was much higher, right? In terms of, if you have multiple locations, right, you want your products to taste consistently the same across the year.
Yes.
Right, and then obviously the next best thing is to having the cocoa butter and the cocoa mess, and then of course the one that has a lot of seasonality to it is coming from cocoa beans, right? So for us, I think what this has prompted us to scale up that faster, right? We need to build our supply chain on cocoa mess, cocoa butter. We need to also pretty much scale up having, I guess, the fillings, and then also the creativity around chocolates,
chocolate,
right?
yes.
Now, if today, if I look at it, right, Indians love chocolates. We can see it is growing. But what are the things you can do that can continue to scale up, continue to grow the revenue? I think it's all about moving forward would be, even if chocolate crisis was not here, I think there is something you need to Indianize your chocolate, right, with flavors. You might want to bring in the mithai flavors. You might want to do set and penny, right? So the flavorings will start to make chocolate more exciting, and then I think for us, I think having this problem has basically taught us a lot of things to make sure the team that is in your facility
start thinking.
Start thinking. You have to now probably moving forward do 2 or 3 more times of the budget in training them. right? Because in the past we probably have a set of chocolatiers who
Yes.
are knowledgeable. Now we need to probably this is basically told us that I think it's time that
more value creation.
yeah. So
More
we
value
need
creation.
we need to invest time in training, letting them experiment, and invest time in educating them. Maybe not from the block all the way, maybe going 2 steps back or 3 steps back, understanding chocolate a bit deeper. What I find in the Indian probably
We
continent in the
understand
industry.
chocolate as in just chocolate. It
Yeah,
can be a,
I think the majority of people literally only understand melting, tempering, molding, and putting the fillings in it.
yes.
Now, this is a great opportunity also for them to now go back to the drawing board, go back to the classroom, and really think through. Because I think if you
What
do
can
that,
we use? Yeah. So I was discussing yesterday the menu and in Whitecaps with the student, and I was talking about, listen, hey guys, we are making a menu. So how will you think we can minimize the chocolate use? So there are 2 ways to make sponges, right? You use the dark chocolate, or else you use the cocoa powder.
yes,
So the idea will start coming now. Okay, can we do in even good sponges can be made with the cocoa powder, and some sort of changes has to be bought.
yeah,
So we balance, because now you say, can I use the cocoa butter for a lot of
Yeah.
product we in confectionery, what we use is a cocoa butter. We really need to look at how a cocoa butter can be replaced if not necessary, because it will also help our whole supply chain. I personally feel, because until we do not suppress the usage of quantity of the chocolate, I think it's very difficult to decrease the prices also, because somehow I think we are responsible for it also.
and very true. And then I think add to that,
Yeah.
I think cakes taste
Yeah.
much more better quality when it's made from scratch.
Yes.
And I think you have to probably walk away from premixes also,
Yes.
right? And this also gives you a little bit more freedom to play with. I think premixes again. It's like a block of
Correct.
chocolate, right? So I think you are absolutely right in terms of. See, one of the things you'll see, I see a lot of cakes that are made using cocoa butter, using the spray.
Yes.
So we have to probably
I
make.
think it's a big concern for everyone.
Yeah.
We love to use velvet spray,
Yes.
and ideally, if you like, the chocolate prices has gone double.
Yes.
Then I say cocoa butter prices has gone 4 times or 5 times higher
Yes.
than actually
Yes.
used to. So
Absolutely. So obviously, win less availability and the price high. I think you'll see probably for the next 6 odd months, maybe the spray cake will now become a scratch recipe with fresh fruits on it, nice, fresh cream, etc. Right?
But it's a fine now. When I'm looking at like last 10 years development, it has become a commodity. Is the government is doing anything about it, or you have thought, is can be controlled pricing in India, or something can be done? I mean,
Look, I think the way to ease this off also would be, I would say the duty of importing chocolates, it's 30 odd percent, right? If you look at other countries, is I think anywhere from 10 on an average is about 5 to 10% duty, right? That duty also hurts, right?
the consumption of chocolate in India, plus I believe India contributes 2% of total chocolate production in world. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Does it impact? I mean, is that also impacted right now in terms of crop, or so?
Yeah, no, I think I mean if you look at I compare India. If you look at the coffee
Yes.
and the tea,
Yes.
it's equally good as what Ivory Coast and Ghana do for chocolates. So I think India is at a stage where I think it's accelerating much faster. But in terms of growing their own cocoa beans and setting up the fermentation, setting up the right equipment that is required, right?
Yes.
So I think the fact is, that is a big investment, and for that you require the amount of quantity of cocoa beans that has to come out. It has to be probably much larger than what currently is. Now, with this crisis, maybe it's become a good farming product, right? So, do we see that people will wanting to, at one stage what happened probably was that cocoa was becoming extinct, right? Because
Yes.
people were not getting a fair prices, And then secondly, the issue was that people were not interested because it was quite laborious,
It
and
was there in
the generation
Karnataka,
was
yeah.
moving, right?
Yes.
And across the world. Now, with this type of things that are now exciting them, right? The
Technique
farmers
for
are
everyone,
probably
yeah.
farmers are getting probably a fairer price now, which is a good thing. Now, will this lead to bigger interest? Now, I'm sure it will lead to bigger interest because I have few friends across, many countries,
So
like
you mean
including
saying that obviously everyone, the whole thing will lead to taking interest in the chocolate or
yes,
cocoa?
and then I think
Yeah.
if people if there's people start taking interest in chocolates,
Yes.
there's many countries, including India, there has abundance of potential. Now, I don't say that this whatever we grow today, you'll be able to reap the benefit tomorrow.
Yes.
But it's a journey that probably can, the acceleration will happen in that people will start
5
planting
to
more cocoa.
7 years, yeah.
So I think
This is the
between
span.
5 to 7 years, and
Yes.
then if you basically even one crop comes after three and a half, right? 50% generally comes after three and a half.
So I think it's a
that
very good news for someone who is looking, obviously into chocolate business or cocoa farming. I think
Yes.
for them is a very good news.
Yes.
If you look at it, it's very positive.
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
I think so, and I think
Yeah.
that's why if the government
Yes.
can support in substantial subsidies on the growing.
Yes.
Not only that, into bringing in, machineries like what you say the Europes have, right? The
Yes.
5 mill bowling, the fermentation process, the cocoa butter presses. If they are encouraged to manufacture those things at those high quality level, right?
Yes.
So obviously, then that will be the only way the
I-
chocolate
I-
quality is
With
will
the whole
improve.
crisis, what I see, there's definitely a knowledge transformation is going to happen.
Yes.
People will understand true chocolate. People will take interest in farming.
Yeah.
Now, the challenge, how long you think is going to remain this challenge or will overcome? Because I think everything happens. There's a pandemic, and it gets over with the time.
Yeah.
So,
Look, I if
you
you
have
look at
spoken to any friends where you get the insight?
no,
or-
look, like if you look at today, even I was reading the news yesterday, right? That the in US it was the biggest highest fall on
Yes.
the commodity trading of the cocoa, right? In the last 68 years. Of course, it was a
Yes.
very high number, and it's based around that Ghana, Ivory Coast, and all that is sort of started to receive the rain, which is required now for the harvesting
Very
in
positive news, yeah.
which is required in the harvesting in October, right? So since because there's a huge backlog, I'm sure the production will go into overdrive. I feel I'm strongly not feel. I think this it will proper around about February, March.
March,
I feel the prices will come down.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter, we'll have to wait and see to what level it comes down, right? If today, if it's at 1,300 rupees a kg, right, will it go down to the levels of 500, or will it stabilize at 750, right, or 800? We don't know. So it's hard to say, right? And but the good thing will be during this time, you'll start to find that the
We have Diwali coming up soon.
Yes.
I mean, we are just a couple of months away from Diwali. It's a big, I think it's a big business for all chocolatiers, right?
Yes.
So,
I
what do you advise them now?
So see what will happen, chef. I think you have to ride the wave. I don't think you can pass that cost to the consumers.
Yes.
It is something. I feel it's a one-off right now. So we as a business owners have to be very mindful, i.e., not to compromise on the quality. Especially when your IP is chocolate, and secondly, it is not probably it's a short-term pain.
Correct. Yes.
But we should not be
play with the quality.
One, playing on the quality, or second, we should not. As I said, now 5 to 8% maybe price increase. We're trying to hold that as long as we can, but we should not go out.
I think
and
there's one
increase the price
responsibility I see as in when you are into chocolate business. I think not just increasing a price. I think we should make aware like what is happening with the. I think when we are doing it our digital promotion, we should also talk about what is happening right now in cocoa world and how why the prices are going up.
Very
This
true.
will help customer to understand and probably
Yeah.
pay the right price. It's like how the fuel
Yeah.
prices goes up,
Yeah.
and you pay for your all the groceries
True.
or vegetables, and you're ready to pay prices up because you understand these fuel prices has gone up. So
Now,
I think
we saw that also, right? If I
Yeah.
if I take it in the context of India, the onion prices went up, right?
went up, yes.
People had to adjust somehow, and
Somehow,
then
and
manage, right? But I think education is very important. But I sincerely also hope that that people are not profiteering from this, right?
Correct,
I think
yes.
we have to be very fair and honest, and if we have procured products at the right price,
we have to be responsible. That's
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so because some of us probably were fortunate enough to lock in prices
Yes.
for a longer time, right? And work with
But the challenge comes
industries.
for the smaller enterprise,
Yeah.
for bakers, for home bakers.
Yeah.
I mean, any advice you would tell them? I mean,
The home bakers, I think one advice is stay true to the chocolate. I think don't try and deviate from it. But I think it's important to bring in creativity, where you probably are using less chocolate, but replacing it with great quality,
yes,
innovative products.
yes,
It's and India is known for it, right? India is known for its creativity. India is known for its I think you name it, right? From the spices to the bakery to the or sweets or whatever it is, right? They're known for it.
so we have to be creative enough. I mean,
Yeah.
how I would
Yeah.
say how in pandemic we've been creative
Yeah.
enough to survive and
Yeah.
come out of
Yeah.
those times. So I think it's a
Yeah,
similar
and
way.
then and then also
Yeah.
one thing I find in the Indian market is because we are a part of the premium category, let's say, right? We finding it, and this is if you look at it 10 years back, people love the half kg cakes,
Yes.
right? Then kind of went down to probably half kg. Now people want a 300-gram cake, but people want quality.
Yes.
So if you do a very genuine, great quality, nice chocolate cake that is 300 grams, and it's still priced around the 500
That's
gram mark.
actually a fantastic idea to
Yeah.
do because
Because
I
people,
personally feel also the chocolate, if you're eating a good chocolate, a
Yes.
dark chocolate, you cannot consume more,
Yes.
right? And with the nuclear family coming up today in the metro city, it's a very good idea that you convert your 500 grams into 300 or
Yes.
350 gram
Yes.
cakes.
But do an authentic,
Authentic,
chocolate
yeah.
cake.
So that's a good piece of advice because
Yeah.
smaller portion, but obviously the
Yeah.
same price you can do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you don't need to consume next day. You consume on the same day.
True, and
So
then
that's
I
about,
think creative products like
Yeah.
the ganaches,
Yes.
they are absolutely brilliant products to have. When we mix it right, and so creativity is the key to it. That's where I would say. But I think I think it's not. I don't think anyone should panic.
Yes.
I think it's a cycle we'll have to go through, and then we also have to be very much mindful not to overcommit with this high pricing.
Yes.
You should take it month by month.
Month by month.
That is my advice to the small owners also.
Is there anything you would like to share to the viewers about the final verdict about the chocolate crisis?
Okay, crisis. Crisis is a word that brings the best out of you, right? If you look at it. So my advice is that chocolate is here to stay. Chocolate is a great product. It's so flexible in terms of you can use it in pastries, desserts, and chocolates on it, and it's wholesome also. It's yummy to eat, right? I'm just my advice to all is it's a please don't get disheartened. Those chocolate makers. I think this is something we can write together and help each other out. And then my also uh, humble request to consumers is please continue to support all the chocolate brands and continue to consume the chocolates.
You heard it here from the first from Vimal Sharma. It's definitely a challenging time, but we chefs need to be creative and lean enough to adapt to these ecological problems. But what about the chocolate manufacturer and distributors? how they are managing this shortage. In the next episode, we will speak to Mr. Prakash Shangvi from Delta Nutritive Foods, where he reveals his perspective on what needs to be done and how the industry should be prepared. Stay tuned and don't forget to like, comment, and share this episode to spread awareness about this cocoa crisis. Together, we can navigate these challenging times.